Harry Kane is just 3 goals off Wayne Rooney's record for England. He only scored his first goal for the Three Lions in 2015. That was against Lithuania. What do you think? How quickly is he going to do it?
Oh, is he going to do it?
How quickly?
It's when he's going to do it. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing. You think of the great strikers that England have had, Jimmy Greaves, Gary Lineker, Wayne Rooney, all boys like that, and lots before them. He will break it. Of that there is no doubt, and not only will he break it, he'll smash it. I think he'll go on. Harry Kane can end up with 60, 70, whatever you want, and it'll be very, very difficult for MD to beat. And thoroughly deserves it. Great player, works his socks off, good sort, good lad. Don't know him personally, but you get the impression any time you listen to him. He just looks as if he'd be a great teammate to have, would he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you get a feeling for it. I think Harry Kane would be a great teammate to have, and leads by example, and his goal scoring record for England and Spurs obviously is frightening, and all power to him. Yeah. I really like him. Absolutely.
Let's speak to somebody who managed him at Spurs. Harry Redknapp is on the line. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Harry. How are you this morning?
Morning, guys.
Morning. Thanks for joining us, Harry. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm good. Yeah, all good. All right, thank you.
What did you think watching the game last night? Were you more impressed than the previous game? Think good changes? What do you reckon?
Well, I think when Grealish comes in, you know, I'm a big Grealish fan. I just feel that we lack somebody who can just do something a bit special still. You know, when he comes into the team and comes off the bench or whether he can do stuff that is, you know, makes a difference. But overall, yeah, it's this difficult time, Laura, to play, and at the end of a tough season and lots of games, you know, they're really sort of probably, you know, they really need a rest at this stage of it. You know, I'm not, you know, lots of people get the needle when you start saying they need a rest, but they've had a long season. I just think the games they've been okay, but it's not easy at this time. I think that the World Cup coming up, they'll be back training again in a few weeks. I think it's difficult to play really competitive games at this stage of the season.
It's funny, Harry, isn't it? I mean, you got to get a balance, because I totally understand. Kevin De Bruyne came out and was pretty critical of not so much the Nations League itself, but just the games at the end of the season. And I understand English boys, but I was saying to Laura, but something like the Nations League for a country like Scotland is actually quite important, because it gives us another opportunity to qualify. And you know, if we do all right in our Nations League, we can go up and become a second seed. So for us, it is kind of important.
Yeah, sure.
But getting back to the game last night, I couldn't agree with you more, mate. I mean, I'm a big fan of Grealish, I really am, and I'm even looking at the goal, Harry. He just takes a chance and fires it into somebody's feet, and of course they get a little bit of break of the ball, but he does give you something different, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'll be truthful. I've said it all along. I don't think Gareth's a great fan of Grealish. I really don't. I think that, you know, he got into the team in the first place, you know, before the Euros, when, you know, public opinion really was so strong for Grealish that he had to, you know, he was coming off the bench and doing fantastic stuff. And I just think he's, you know, listen, we've all got opinions on players when you're a manager. You know, some we like, some other, the crowd bay for someone and you don't play them because they're not what you want, or you don't see them as part of your team or you want to play. I just get the feeling that he's one of them, you know, and it's a game of opinions. He's the manager. He chooses his own players who he wants to play. But I don't think he sees Grealish as I don't think he's particularly enamoured with Grealish somehow. It's just my opinion, you know.
If you were the manager, would you start him?
Oh yeah, I'd play him. Yeah, he'd be right there. Oh, I love him. Yeah, he's my. I'd be picking him. He'd be one of my first names for sure on the team sheet.
What about the back four at the moment? So would you? I mean, we had a caller on earlier on, and Harry Maguire is a big topic at the moment because we've seen him suffer in form really for Manchester United, and Gareth trusts him. What did you make of his performance last night?
Yeah, I'm okay. I think Harry's he's a good lad, good sort, good pro, great guy. You know, when I've met him a couple of times, just really impressed with him. He's really into his football and he's very, very professional. I couldn't believe when I met him how big he was, how tall he was. I mean, tall and slim. You know, I always thought he was quite a big, heavy sort. When I actually met him, he was like, you know, really very, very, very fit looking guy, you know. But I do like him. I think he's got lead. You know, he's a lead. He's old school centre half, and he's He's a leader. You know, he does what you want to do for a centre half. Where do you find it? Who else you going to pick? You know, I think he's always in for me. You know,
well, Tomori or Gahey, maybe I just wondered if these were your chances now in these kind of games, just to have a little rotation and see how anyone else does.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I wouldn't do any harm to have a look at other people for sure. I think it's a good time to play them with the World Cup coming up. You know, this is the time to pitch one or two of them in. I would think, you know, and have a look at them. But it's one of them they're going to play alongside him probably with their pace and whatever. But you still need somebody, I think, you know, that an out and out number 5, and he'd still get the nod for me.
Harry, what do you think? Is you know what it's like with an England manager. You criticism from every direction, effectively. Looking at it again last night, he's got Declan and Calvin Phillips in front of his back four, and I understand his back four or his defenders is probably the weakest part of his team because of the quality you've got in forward areas. But do you think at times he's just a little too protective of his back line?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd you know, listen, we're all different, Ali, and we've all got different ideas on the game and how we should play. Yeah, I do. You know, I think Gareth is done an excellent job. But he's a very steady guy, and he would play that way. That the team fits his personality a little bit. He's going to be a little bit, you know, he'll make sure they're nice and solid, and they ain't going to take too many risks, is he? He's not. And I think the team, they don't play with great flair. They're not an open team, and I think that's how he's going to play. You know. And he's done very well, and you know that's the way he wants to be. Somebody else could come in and be completely the opposite, you know, and open it up and have a right go and play really attacking players in midfield, and would be an expensive type of game. But that's not going to happen with Gareth.
I wanted to ask you about Gareth Bale, because we were doing a story yesterday, Harry, where it's Cardiff that have been quite vocal about wanting him to come and join Cardiff. Yeah. Where can you see him going next? And I mean, he's still got so much. He's not even that old, Harry. He's still got so much left, surely.
I'd take a gamble with him if I was in the Premier League again, because I think when he went to Tottenham, he didn't really get the chance to play. It was like,
didn't get a run,
didn't get a run. Jose took they took him. It looked to me as that wasn't Jose's choice, and he wasn't playing him. He was bringing him off the bench, putting him on 10 minutes to go. When he started him, he'd be the first one he'd have off as soon as, you know, the team weren't playing well. It was, you know, but I just think for me it'd be a gamble, you know, if I was an Everton or somewhere or whatever, or Leeds, or, you know, good clubs, you know, I'd take a little gamble on him. You know, back the wages are the problem, but if he wants to play, he's going to have to get on and take he's not going to get £600,000 a week anymore, is he? Them days are finished. He's had that. He doesn't need it. I'd be taking a gamble on him in the Premier League, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
The Championship will keep him fit, but no disrespect to the players. He's going to be playing with players not nowhere near on the level he is every week, you know. I still think he could do it at the top level for another year or so.
Yeah. All right, Harry, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Harry. All the best, mate.
Have a good day, guys.
Take care. See you later.
Cheers, Harry.
Harry Redknapp there.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.